the latest in a long line of warriors who wielded his power against the wicked. Danny Rand is the Immortal Iron Fist. Protector of the mystical city of K'un Lun, he channels the soul of a dragon, making his fists like unto iron, and is one of the greatest martial artists the world has ever known. Welcome to ComicVersus Series. In today's superhero origin episode we will discuss history of Iron Fist, the living weapon, champion of K'un Lun, billionaire playboy. A great deal of words can be utilized to depict Danny Rand, and as far back as he made his debut 43 years prior, he's experienced a variety of repetition, with his own live-action Netflix series being the most recent. So, since we already dived into the series, let's have a taste of the Iron Fist origins and evolutions here. There have been numerous bearers of the name Iron Fist all through history. Danny Rand is believed to be the 66th Iron Fist, the brainchild of Roy Thomas and Gil Kane. Iron Fist made his debut in 1974's Marvel premiere number 15. As martial arts-themed heroes were running rampant at Marvel Comics. The character was also directly inspired by the first kung fu film that Thomas saw, which he himself admits had a sequence called The Ceremony of the Iron Fist in its plot. In the pages of the comics, Danny was the son of Wendell Rand and his wife Heather. As a boy, his father Wendell had found the mythical city of K'un Lun and been raised there himself, before departing to become a successful businessman in his own right. As an adult, he sought out that city again, and led his family on a doomed expedition where he was betrayed by his partner Harold Meekum. Though he and his wife wouldn't make it through the climb, young Danny found his way to K'un Lun. He is taken in by the city and put under the tutelage of K'un, the Thunderer. Following 10 years of training, Danny is given the chance to become the living weapon, which has a strict test. Fighting and defeating the dragon K'un Lun the Undying. Danny manages to not only defeat the dragon but gains the dragon tattoo on his chest and become the living weapon in the process. The final part of the task of defeating K'un Lun the Undying sees Danny plunging his hands into the dragon's molten heart and gaining the power of the Iron Fist. After completing his ascension to the Iron Fist, the door to K'un Lun opens once again on Earth, and Danny chooses to return to seek vengeance against Meekum for killing his father. When the confrontation finally takes place, Danny finds Harold is a helpless amputee and, despite Meekum's pleas to end his life, takes pity on him. Following this, Iron Fist stuck around in New York City and worked as a street-level hero where he fought alongside the Daughters of the Dragon, Colleen Wing, and Misty Knight, falling in love with later. He even fought notable villains like Sabretooth and superheroes like Captain America and Iron Man. During his adventures with Wing and Knight, he found himself fighting alongside none other than Power Man himself, Luke Cage, which saw the two become buddies and form the Heroes for Hire company. Behind the scenes, this combo was done as a way to save the character from being gone entirely, as his series had been cancelled. After many years of harrowing, the unthinkable happened to Danny. He contracted cancer. Danny returned to K'un Lun to attempt to fight it, where he was captured by the Hill Three, who created a doppelganger of Danny that wrote a red version of his costume. Eventually the ruse was figured out and Danny was released, also curing his cancer through sheer will, via his meditation. Following his return, Danny and Luke reformed the Heroes for Hire with an expanded roster, and with the backing of Prince Naima's company, with a roster that included Black Knight, Ant-Man, White Tiger, Hercules, She-Hulk, and the original Human Torch Jim Hammond. When Matt Murdock was exposed as Daredevil, and put in jail, Danny was hired to dress and act as Daredevil to create the illusion that he and Murdock were two separate people. Murdock broke out of prison, and confronted the false Daredevil. When realizing that it was his friend Iron Fist, Murdock asked Danny to remain as Daredevil so he had time to track down the murderer of his friend Foggy Nelson. Danny, as Daredevil, joined Captain America's Secret Avengers, who were in opposition to the Superhuman Registration Act being enforced by Iron Man. He was later freed by Hulkling, who was impersonating Hank Pym, and he joined the final battle of the Civil War. After the surrender of Captain America, Iron Fist joined Luke Cage in the New Avengers. After the events of the Avengers vs. X-Men War, Danny entered into a relationship with Brenda Swanson, a reporter who interviewed him about his family. After having sex with Brenda in the Rand building, Danny was attacked by a cadre of undead ninjas. Moments later, a young monk named Pei stumbled into his apartment and collapsed before telling Danny to return to K'un Lun. Danny later found a portal to K'un Lun under one of the elevators in the Rand building. As he made his way back to K'un Lun, he found the city engulfed in flames, destroyed by a mysterious hooded figure. One of the survivors blamed him for not being there as K'un Lun's champion to defend it from invasion. Danny later grabbed the man and angrily demanded to be taken to K'un. Another survivor led him to the Tree of Immortality, where Danny finds the Prince of Orphans waiting for him. He warned Danny not to go near K'un, but Danny ignored his pleas and found K'un decapitated. The Prince of Orphans later offered him the choice of life or death, but Danny angrily destroyed the tree and engaged him in combat. He later recovered and was shocked to learn that the mysterious hooded figure was his own father. Danny was forced to use the Iron Fist against his father, but this didn't stagger him and the force broke his hands. He later realized that the mysterious figure wasn't his father and that his identity is the one. The undead ninjas later surrounded him, but a mysterious man arrived on a sled and pulled him to safety. Danny awoke in a cave, where he met Fu, a monk from K'un Lun, and his old friend Sparrow. She tells Danny to stop Davos and the One as they have declared New York City as the new K'un Lun. Sparrow and Fu nursed Danny back to health, and Fu used some of K'un Lun's forbidden technologies to forge metallic fists to compensate for the loss of his chi, and sent him to confront the spirit of his mother. The two of them reconciled, and together with Sparrow and Fu, the three of them went back to New York to finally confront the One, and he became the living weapon. Now let's see the powers and abilities Iron Fist possess. Recently his powers, skill, and awareness have been all augmented to vastly higher levels, while the extent is unknown. It was stated his sense of self has grown 10,000-fold and his capabilities now possess infinite depth. He no longer tires from using his chi and is capable of using his powers for greater tasks. Examples include destroying a train with the Iron Fist punch as it collided with his attack at full speed, healing himself from several external injuries, and detoxifying unwittingly ingested poison in his body with his chi. Through concentration, Rand can harness his mystical chi to augment his physical and mental capabilities to superhuman levels. By summoning his chi and focusing it into his hand, he can draw upon the superhuman energy derived from the heart of the mystic serpent Shulao and make his fist inhumanly powerful and superhumanly resistant to injury and pain on a superhuman scale. Rand has complete control over his nervous system, enabling him to deaden himself to pain, resist the effects of drugs or poisons, and slow down the rate at which he bleeds. He also is able to pass lie detector tests. He has the power of hypnotism, can create various illusions and make his foes see what he wants them to see. He also has the power to absorb and generate energy on a superhuman scale. Under certain circumstances, he can travel through dimensions. Danny Rand has enhanced senses, enhanced speed, reflexes, and durability. He even can focus his chi for the purposes of healing his injuries. Rand is a master martial artist and a highly skilled acrobat and knows human pressure points. Without increasing his strength with chi, Danny possesses the peak human level of strength a man of his age, height, and build that exercises intensively. He is capable of lifting at least twice his body weight and can press lift at the very least 350 pounds. Apart from his skill and strength, he can speak fluent in K'un Lun, English, Chinese, and has a limited vocabulary in Japanese. Marvel's Iron Fist is streaming on Netflix now. The character has a very rich history. Can't wait to see how they handle it. So, guys, what do you think about this character? Feel free to comment below. And be sure to subscribe for videos more like this.